Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it has been a source of great comic book conversation, the kind that we used to have in the comic book shop on any given Wednesday. New release day. You know, I use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. I cracked the book open to today's date, which is August the 30th. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. This is a 2004 Abrams publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. There is a link to the Amazon page in the description if you would like your own copy. It would look great on your coffee table. You could play along at home, and it makes a great gift for a geek. No, the golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, between 1970 and 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985. I get the standards of the ages from the glossary of the most current edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. I find this to be a really reliable and fair standard to be having such conversations. And I'd like to have future conversations such as, what era are we in now? What era do you think we're going to and when? What era did we just leave and when? Does the modern age have to be from 1992, 93 until now? Isn't that a little bit, weird to cram so much into such a span of time? Wouldn't it be better if we, properly delineated these ages? I think so, and I have conversations about this very subject on this channel on slower news days. Maybe even tomorrow. I see that coming up on the show notes. I use show notes. I do. I use show notes. I do. And so let's get to it. I also do something called the escapism caveat. I used to do that at the top of the show right about now, but I've made a longer form video that I offer at the end of the show. I'll be putting it right here, so you can click on it and give that some time and the time it needs for that to air out, and leave a comment there too. So let's get to it. It is August the 30th. I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them, because the theme of today's show is being clobbered by your own problems because of you forgot to do something or bad planning. But let's get to it. From Captain Marvel Adventures number 30 from December of 1943. Aroused by Sissy's piercing cry for help, Billy leaps into instant action. If they harm her, I'll crash. Swish, crash. Holy moly, I forgot to say Shazam. So Billy leaps into action, and he forgets to use his magic word. How impetuous. How improperly planning your performance. You could hurt yourself that way, kid. You got to think these things through. It was bound to happen someday. Unduly agitated when a cute girl named Sissy screams for help, Billy Batson leaps into action before he remembers to say his magic word. He doesn't turn into Captain Marvel, and he doesn't smash through that wall. He knocks himself out instead. Holy moly, I forgot to say Shazam! Let's look at him again. There's Billy Batson, and not Captain Marvel. Yeah, I pulled up a couple of instances in comic books where I used to have this mantra of the 6 P's. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And then my buddy Scotty from high school gave it a 7th P. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. There you go. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, there you go. prior proper planning, like what Batman would do. And he is actually our first case here, because his proper planning fell into the wrong hands. It's from the 1999. It's from the 2000. Yeah, 2000 Justice League of America JLA story called Tower of Babel. This is where Tower of Babel. I'm going to read this from the wiki. Tower of Babel deals with Batman's perceived betrayal of the superhuman community by concealing hidden records concerning the strengths and weaknesses of his allies in the JLA, which include plans to neutralize his allies in a fight. His files are stolen by the criminal mastermind Ra's al Ghul, who uses them to defeat the League through a coordinated attack in order to prevent them from interfering with his latest scheme towards the reduction of the global population. Can I even say that on the tubes anymore? I mean, is that? I hope that's not under any misinformation. No, but yeah, it's like, so Batman has a contingency plan for everything. So he knows how to beat Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, and Plastic Man. And he wrote it down, and it's on the back computer. And somebody hacks the back computer, and it falls into one of his nemesis' hands, who uses them. So by the end of the tale, it's a vote to keep Batman within the JLA or not. And it's a split vote, and Superman gets to decide the deciding vote. And we all know that Batman remained part of the JLA. Another one was over at Marvel, and it was right after something called Dark Reign, which was this huge crossover event. When did this happen? So I'm talking about the Dark Avengers, which premiered in January of 2009. So this is like 2006, 2007. This is after Civil War. So Civil War has happened. Civil War has shattered the superhero community, and it's changed the Avengers. Now you have a big Avengers squad, and then you have the new Avengers that are like street-level heroes that are kind of outlaws because they don't agree with the whole Superhero Registration Act. They're kind of like anti-registrations. So, they can, they're not, they don't want to be jabbed with any revealing of who they are. This is a long time before any of this stuff, but the metaphor remains, I think. So that ran into something called Secret Invasion, which we find out that the Skrulls have infiltrated Earth and replaced heroes and people, all in government and on the super teams, with Skrulls. And there's a secret invasion going on, really. And then what happened was Dark Reign. And what happened was Norman Osborn, a.k.a. the Green Goblin, in one of his saner moments, he takes out the Skrull Queen and is the hero of the day and is given a prominent status in the Marvel Universe where he gets to run things now. He creates S.H.I.E.L.D. in his own image. He renames it Hammer under a different acronym. He changes the Thunderbolts team of reformed criminals into his team of Dark Avengers. So Norman Osborn himself puts on an Iron Man suit that's red, white, and blue. He's the Iron Patriot. He gets a Venom and gives it drugs, so it has a more of a Spider-Man style. So you have a Spider-Man alternate. You have the assassin Bullseye pretending to be Hawkeye. You have someone named Moonstone, a powerful supervillainess, pretending to be Captain Marvel, or at the time Ms. Marvel, Warbird. You also have Daken, meaning mongrel. This is Wolverine's literal, son, his bastard son. And Daken hates his father. He's got 2 claws, and he's a bit of a psychopath. So he becomes the Dark Wolverine, and thus brings in the first Dark Avengers team. So you had bad guys running the show. because of some bad prior planning going on with the superheroes, letting themselves be distracted and divided. So there was a lot of divisiveness in the superhero community. You know, divided. Divided we fall, together we stand, and that was part of it. And eventually, Dark Avengers stopped. He went into Siege, and then became the Heroic Age, and all new, all different, and Legacy, and all down the line. But yeah, and the last one I have to mention too is one of my favorites. It's from the Wildstorm universe, and it's called Wildcats Aliens. It was written by Warren Ellis in 1998, and it was the end of his Stormwatch team. And he didn't want to do this, but he actually got a light in his eye when he found out that he can kill anyone he wanted to. And so he had this crossover with the existing IP, intellectual property, of Aliens, the xenomorph from the Ridley Scott and the James Cameron films. And these aliens, they actually, there was a lot of different crossovers with different Marvel and DC and Wild Horse characters. One of my favorites is Green Lantern versus Aliens. That was really cool. And so the Stormwatch team gets completely annihilated by the alien xenomorphs. And by the end of it, the Stormwatch team becomes the Authority, which is one of the best comic books of the early 21st century. It really is. It's a really awesome superhero comic book set in the Wildstorm universe, migrated over to the DC universe where it lost most of its steam. But what was the prior planning that was ignored? Don't you ever bring a xenomorph onto your ship? It wasn't anyone's fault, really. It was the xenomorphs had gotten onto some ships, and the homing beacon brought them back on autopilot. So when they opened up the ships, all these aliens came out and started just killing everyone and like putting eggs in front of them and making new aliens and doing the disgusting, acid blood thing, Yeah. So prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And yeah, it works for us and it works for superheroes too. So let's learn our lessons from these superheroes and let's not write down these plans to take down our friends. Let's stay together even though we disagree and not give the opportunity for the bad guys to take over. And for Pete's sake, say your magic word before you fly into a situation. Put on a helmet, you know what I mean? Make sure that you have your proper equipment. Make sure you got your safety shoes on before you enter the workspace. Stuff like that, that's on a human level. And we've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We talk about comic books every day. We make daily content. I talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. I make soup videos. I'm called the Sultan of Soup, and they're very popular. They're nutritious and delicious, and pretty to look at too. So tune in. I got a playlist called What's Cooking. I'm an amateur theologian, an ordained minister. We talk about spirituality here. We talk about purpose and gratitude. We get spiritual here. So yeah, tune in for that too. There's a playlist for that. I will point out planets in the pre-dawn, clear skies. If they're out there, hey look, that's the planet Jupiter. I'll do that because I think that's cool. I want to share that with you because we share the same sky and you can look up and see these planets too if you're up and at them. It's awesome. I invite you. So please come aboard. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. You have a great day, okay? Bye-bye. Cheers.